All right, welcome back from the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. Not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, market's trading lower again today and off the ISM number. So that came in hotter than expected. Big surprise. We've been telling you that was probably going to happen. Inflation is going to be sticky, and it looks like the market is starting to realize that. Now, from a technical basis, again, market is still kind of hanging in there. Again, we have 3 days, really 4, of just being stuck in this range between 393 and 400. We talked about yesterday the 3950 area being a key level on the SPX. And, again, we're kind of holding that slight double bottom there for now. It is about 330. We'll see if the bears make one more run here at that gamma wall. We are slightly below it right now, but, they may save it here. I think possibly, I've had it kind of penciled in at this point for the last couple of days. I do think we get some type of a good move tomorrow, whether that's up or down. If it's up, let's go to the SPY here. This is where I have my trend lines in. But if it's up, I'm thinking it's probably going to take us into this area. And we would probably get in there in the weekend. After that, I think this market's about cooked. If it's down, well, then, it's down, right? So, I mean, it doesn't really change my opinion either way here. It's just a matter of time at this point. The bulls have had too many chances here to push this market up. They had a chance. We talked about this Monday. They should have V-shaped it. It didn't. We gapped up and we had a gap and crap. Now we're back at the low here. We're now confirming below this trend line here and the 50 moving average. So that's 2 closes below that. And we've taken out the low of yesterday. We're going to close below the low of yesterday. Again, the weekly sell signal here, failed inside bar. There's too many factors at this point. Really for the bulls to get any momentum. There's some people talking about a March ripper. I'm not in that camp here. Also, March historically is the worst performing month for the spiders and for, general equities. We can see here, again, ISM coming in hot. What could have possibly given us that inclination here? Oh, the 2-year, which we've been talking about every day in here. Weakness, weakness, weakness. What kind of pattern? Down move inside and a continuation. So bonds are telling the Fed they need to continue raising rates. There's the 2-year yield. Let's use, I don't like using that. Let's use the actual yield. And there's Bitcoin there again. So yeah, now 2.89 spot 3. I previously was 2.8, 4.893. We're talking about 2020 numbers here. Yeah, 4.89 spot 3 versus 4.81. So we are through that double top now. Again, bottom line, this means there's the Fed funds rate. The Fed has more work to do. That's really all it comes down to. And the market, this whole rally was, predicated on, the economy's weakening. So the Fed's going to stop raising rates. They're going to pivot. They're going to flip. Well, that's clearly not happening now. Now they're talking about the no landing effect, where we just have a stagflation, and inflation remains hot, and the economy starts to slow down, which is basically the worst case scenario right now. But bottom line, for right now, we're hammering on the 200 moving average 1-2 days in the last 2 weeks. Usually, again, we came up here, we reversed, we flagged a little bit. You're not going to go straight through it. Again, I've been talking about this. We have to build a little bit of a base, and that's what we're doing right now. Bottom line, though, we're hammering on that 200. We've broken this trend line. We've broken that weekly level. So market is in some rough shape here. Again, I do think they at least save it for today. Tomorrow, gap downs, if that happens, I would not buy that dip. If we do push up here, and by gap down, I don't mean by 50 cents. I mean if we gap down, that would not be a dip for buying. If we gap up, we'll see. Again, there's a possibility we could get to that 400 area, over the next couple of days here. Again, I usually don't favor a reversal on Friday. So if we hold up into Thursday, I would think Friday we hold up as well. But then I would say by the beginning of next week, we're going to come in. So either way, we do have Salesforce and Snowflake reporting after the bell today. So maybe that can move clouds. Salesforce is up a little bit here, up 2% on the day. Snowflake up almost 0.75%. IGV actually down here, so a little bit of a divergence there from those two. We'll see how those report. Again, we lost that green bar there, and on the IGV here, the weekly, we do need to hold 276.69, which we are hovering right on in order to save this green bar. So again, IGV that'll definitely be moved by Salesforce and Snowflake after the bell. We also have Tesla Investor Day. Everybody knows about it at this point. I don't know. What's he going to say? That AI? Is he going to pull the NVIDIA playbook? AI this, AI that? Maybe. We'll see. Either way, you have been consolidating here on Tesla for a couple, basically the same amount of time that took to break down. So could Tesla get a bid? I can't rule it out, especially if, I don't know. I mean, he says something exciting. Maybe the market likes it. Maybe they keep this thing floating up for a little bit longer. Speaking of floating for a little bit longer, this is one of the last generals now because NVIDIA already kind of lost that 230 level. So now why that's significant is that was your pivot high, 230.49. And barring, I mean, they could pump it here. It's about 3 points away, but it doesn't look like that's going to get saved here by the end of the day. And I think that opens a trapdoor down to this gap here. You'll have a little bit of support at the 20 MA, but this is minor to me. We've consolidated up here. It's not coming down in a straight line. It went sideways. So NVIDIA showing some weakness. And we talked about this yesterday, like little by little, certain sectors are starting to show more and more weakness. So really the last two generals outside of NVIDIA now are just Tesla and Bitcoin. Those are the only ones that are really holding up well as far as those kind of retail darlings and those names. That even Apple slipping down 1.6% there at the lows of the day. So we closed below this green bar last week, and that is continuing down. That probably wants to test this 100 MA there. So Apple in weak shape, but again, Microsoft, that's been a terrible chart here. I talked about that can be shorted on a bear pattern. It's already starting to break down. Google here, very weak. Amazon weak. Meta hasn't done anything since the earnings gap. So really, it's in tech land. It's really just Tesla and if you want to call Bitcoin, lump that in there, that's been holding up. Anyways, let's get over the Qs. So triple Qs, we mentioned cloud a little bit earlier. CRM, Snowflake after the bell. Qs down 90 basis points. Spiders down 43. Again, that's an inflation trade, so that makes sense. ISM number hot. Tech coming in. That definitely is not out of the ordinary here. And again, if we were to break tomorrow, 289.89, we're only $1 away right now. That's that weekly level. We get a close below that, and you have a failed weekly inside bar in the Qs, and then this market is truly cooked. But for right now, it's holding above that, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Who knows? Elon Musk talks about AI enough times, maybe it'll bid up the Qs. We'll see what we get, but that's the level I am watching. On the upside, we'll see. You got this down sloping trend line here, which was failed. We failed to break out of it. Could it go up and test the 20 MA one more time? It's possible. It's 10 points away. I don't think it really gets up there, though. But again, watch that lower level there going into Friday, especially. Russell 2000, this bear pattern just gets better and better. Inside bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. This can be, this is why I'm saying we can set up for a push tomorrow. That pattern looks almost ready to go to me. So we could get a break tomorrow. Again, if the market holds up, it'll probably be pushed off to Monday or Tuesday. But Russell 2000, that is a nice bear pattern building up there. The Dow is fractionally higher right now, just up 4 pennies now on the DIA here. Again, right into that double bottom, so it's stalling out there, but not a pattern of strength. We talked about that breakdown. Nothing really else needs to be said there. Semiconductors, we mentioned NVIDIA, obviously, up just 18 cents. It is up in a down market. We'll give it that. Broadcom's holding up decently. Applied Materials having a nice day here. TSM is green, although that could be considered, down move here and then kind of chop. So just be careful with the semis right here. I think they're on their last legs right now. And if this starts to roll over again, we talked about this. That's a possible head and shoulders. It hasn't triggered yet, but it could. So we'll be on guard for that. If NVIDIA rolls over, it's just going to take all of tech with it, honestly. Specifically the SMH, obviously. IGV, we already covered. Again, just hanging out here, down 82 basis points. We'll see what CRM does after the bell. Again, that is still up just about 2% on the day. So that's pumping a little bit ahead of earnings. So we'll see what we get there. Maybe it holds up. I mean, Palo Alto had earnings, remember, last week, and that had a nice gap up. So maybe that can save IGV here. after the bell. But anyways, Dow transports, again, still hanging in there. They're up 36 basis points currently, but again, inside bar, down move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, this is setting up for a move lower here. So transports, they're hanging in there for now. We'll leave it at that. Nothing really to add from what we've said the last 3 days. We've just been through this tight range. Nothing really too new to say about that. Let's look at the 2-year again. That is testing double bottom on the futures, or about to. So that will probably at least get hit tomorrow. Maybe there's your catalyst for another dead cat bounce in the markets. We pierced double bottom. We could get a bid, and that could give you a higher low, and then, you know, maybe the dollar pulls in. And again, another thing too. So I've said this the last 2 days, but dollar index is down, and the markets can't even rally. That's a problem. So that's a huge problem if you're bull right now. But again, there's the 10-year. So again, you know, starting to break down again, bearish inside bar. If this gets a bid, again, maybe it can give the markets a short-term lift, but it'll be a short-term lift at that. ZB here can't get out of its own way either. Another inside bar there on the daily. That wants to go lower. Let's take a look here at housing, home builders. Another inside bar pattern. I feel like I said the same thing the last 2 days. We've just been stuck in this range here, building that daily inside bar. So ITB, the NQ, that actually started to break down a bit today. It's trying to hang on to that 100 MA, trying to hang on to this pivot point around 84. That's been a good pivot point really since October. Look at that. Pivot high, low, breakdown, little pivot, little consolidation, and now getting back tested again. So maybe this has a little bit of a bounce in it. But again, not a pattern of strength. It is a little oversold on the daily, so maybe it can hold up a little bit here. But again, housing, not looking good here. Financials, XLF down 15 cents right now. Again, down move, inside bar, bear flag after the rising wedge. That wants to go lower. One is bucking the trend here. Citigroup's actually holding up really well, having a nice day. So that one's on my radar there. I don't know how much higher it can go, but it's hanging in there okay. Wells Fargo basically flat. Goldman down a little bit here. Yeah, nice dump there on Goldman. So that's losing that 350 level. JPM, Morgan Stanley getting dragged down as well. Beautiful rising wedge there on Morgan Stanley. Broker dealers again down move and now starting to go sideways. So that can get through 490 with a little bit more consolidation. All right, over to energy, crude, up 1% on the day. Man, this thing is just all over the map. You know, look at this choppy action here. We had inventories this morning. We got some nice whipsaw up, higher low, and now it's making a higher high. I don't know what it wants to do here. I know the weekly is still bearish, and we're just going to leave it at that for now. If this gives me a bear pattern, I wouldn't be against shorting it, but right now, you know, it's too much of a chop fest here. Anyways, XLE, nice reversal. This has been strong all day. Again, inflation type trade, right? So think energy, ISM number hot. That's going to help hold up XLE, and it's going to hold down the triple Qs. So nice reversal there. Still has a potential daily bear pattern. And again, you still have that big weekly bear pattern. So just keep that in mind, but it's holding up for now. XOP, again, same difference. So weekly kind of, you know, lower or higher lows, now lower highs here, but it's holding up for now. So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. OIH having a nice outside day. Again, 308.31 is the level we're watching on Friday's close. Nothing to say about it. Nat gas just continues to cream the shorts here. So at 283 now, we're going to close above 278. And I say creaming the shorts here because they tried to punch it down below 278 before the COMEX close, and it ramped right back up there. This probably wants to go to I would say 310, 315 before any sort of real resistance. And I thought we would pull back and flag a little bit here, but this is just what happens when you stretch that rubber band to the point of, you know, insanity. I mean, we ignored the technicals completely on the whole move down. So makes sense that they'd be ignored on the way up here, at least for the snapback rally. But daily chart resistance around 310, but this is ultimately going $4. Won't go there in a straight line, but it's getting a monster bid off the lows there. So nice move there for Natty again, 6 days in a row. Looks like it wants to go higher tomorrow too. Look at those higher lows there. Dollar index we already mentioned. This had a little bit of a downdraft today, but still holding this kind of, you know, upper structure. I think it probably, yeah, you basically did test 104 on the downside. Was the low of the day. Yeah, 104.09. You know, maybe it wants to, I would say this 20 MA probably start to upsloping. If it starts to slope upwards, It could act as support here, but this probably wants to base a little bit more before getting through that pivot. And I would prefer that because right now that pivot's pretty good resistance. But the more this consolidates, the more minor this will become, and then dollar will take off to the upside here. Gold, GC, day trading minor red wedge. Again, we came up here, basically back tested this hourly level, and now we're backing off of that again. Day trading, but yeah, nice little bid here. Again, we finally got support yesterday. We talked about this zone here. It's a little oversold. We'll see how it reacts into the 20 moving average. This is not a great bounce though. Could it get up to the 50? It's possible. Just not the best pattern here. Gold is not on my radar right now for a long. It will be in the future, but it's not quite there yet. It is a little oversold, so we'll just give it a little bit of an upside bias here as long as the dollar is weak. Silver getting a bounce. Again, we got to defend it at that 200 moving average right now, and it's basically hovering above that. This still has one more leg down, so I'm not doing anything with that currently. Platinum here, continuing to pop up here, so a little higher high, little W pattern, so nothing terrible there. It's back above that 200 moving average and the 20. I still think this has one more leg down, but it's showing a little bit of relative strength and really has been for quite a while. Copper here, nice move here. This I think is about done though. It probably wants to go up and test this red bar high, 418, somewhere in that area. There's hourly level right in this range here. So right around 418, I think that's about done right there. But it had a nice little bounce off the lows. This is still headed lower. And then lastly, over to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin had a nice bid earlier today, and it came back in pretty sharply. So you still have this micro kind of inside bar pattern there on the daily. Look at kind of the day here. See, we had a nice consolidation, and then it broke down pretty nicely. So Bitcoin coming back in again. The pattern's not broken. It's not broken on the daily, but for right now, under a little bit of pressure. Nothing terrible just yet. Again, it's still one of the last kind of generals left as far as these kind of retail darling kind of names. But it's holding up, so we'll just leave it at that. All right, markets here just kind of stuck in this range again, 39.50. There's a big gamma wall there. I would be surprised if we broke through that today. Tomorrow, though, it's a little bit of a different story. I think we got to be careful here. Market's very weak. These little bounces we got earlier, honestly, I think this was just a shakeout. Any bears who were trying to jump on board. We had a nice bull pattern here today, and that failed. So the market's not showing any strength right now. We've broken this trend line, confirmed below it. We broke the inside bar. We're below the 50. Coming for that 200, I think. So anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.